Veliki pozdrav svim učenicima Ekonomske škole Mirko Vešović iz Podgorice, kao i njihovim roditeljima. Cilj današnjeg časa je podsticanje interaktivnog pristupa nastavi, razvijanje vještine govora i kritičkog mišljenja, sa željom da vas razveselimo u ovim danima socijalne izolacije. For this lesson, you need to follow the link and write down some useful facts. So, let's start. Do not worry. It's easy. We are now going to do a word association game. This test contains 20 words. The table has got 4 columns: A, B, C, D. After I open the card, you will see a word. Your task is to provide the password for a column the word belongs to. After you reveal the key words from each column, you will easily recognize the final solution or the key word. So, let's play. Column A. Card A1. Student. Card A2. Book. Card A3. Workbook. Card A4. Notebook. Student. Student needs book, workbook, and notebook for his English class, I suppose. Therefore, the solution might be school. Yes. The solution or the password for this column is school. Let's look for the B cards. Column B. B1, homework. B2, account. B3, score. B4, turn in. You need an account to turn in your homework. The answer is yes, Google Classroom. Of course. Now, let's move to the column C. Let's look at the C cards. C1, gadget. C2, smartphone. C3, PC or personal computer. C4, online. Gadget. This word leads me to the smartphone and PC. I need those devices to make online connection. That's right. Now, let's see the column D. The card D1 is a teacher. D2, motivation. D3, attitude. D4, inspiration. So, a teacher with positive attitude inspires and motivates students to acquire the best education possible. Finally, column A, school. Column B, Google Classroom. Column C, connection. Column D, education. The final answer is distance learning. That's right. Congratulations. Now, distance learning, also called distance education, e-learning, and online learning, is a form of education in which the main elements include physical separation of teachers and students during instruction and the use of various technologies to facilitate student-to-teacher and student-to-student communication. This is our topic for today. Wow. As you know, every English class needs a little variety to keep things interesting and people motivated. Puzzles and word games are great learning tools. The aim of the following game is to explain the answer with a degree of precision. Let's see what's going on. Amanda and Anastasia will show you the world of the games.
How much time do you spend on mobile apps? Well, it would be quite embarrassing if I told you just how much time I actually spend on mobile apps, but I'm gonna say that it's definitely a healthy amount. What gadgets do you need for distance learning? We don't need much apart from our mobile phones and our computers. What gadget is the most useful for distance learning? Well, in my opinion, it would be our mobile phones because they are the easiest to use and definitely the easiest way to contact our classmates and our teachers.
The specifications that are important in a mobile phone are long-lasting battery, crystal clear display, plenty of storage space that will fit in everything you need and more, good CPU, also known as processing, and some newly developed features like the NFC, a fingerprint reader, face recognition, and soon wireless charging. For distance learning, I use a variety of apps. One group of apps for student-to-teacher and student-to-student communication and access to materials that I need for studying. Those are Viber, Google Classroom, Dropbox, and Zoom. Second group of apps I use as tools for organization and taking notes. Those are Power Planner, where I have access to a calendar with all the tasks that I need to do, and OneNote that I use to take some notes. One of the most important things that the internet provides for us is connecting with people. There are many ways to connect nowadays. Personally, I chat with my friends on Instagram. I call them on WhatsApp. I connect with my teachers on Viber, Google Classroom, where I can ask for feedback and help. I use Skype, Telegram, and Instagram to stay in touch with people who are all over the world, who I don't know personally but share the same interests. And I think that's very cool.
What are the pros of using your phone in distance learning? Mobile learning is good because the students are able to log into classrooms at their convenience to go through materials or take a test. Similarly, teachers are able to communicate at any time with students to clear their doubts, administer tests, or even communicate with the students' parents about their child. Also, mobile learning could be molded to suit different learning styles, increasing learner engagement. For example, texts, images, videos, quizzes can all be flexibly incorporated into the content to suit varying learning styles. It actually makes learning more fun and engaging. Now we are in a situation that we all have to stay at home, so this is a good new experience for us and we are doing well. What are the cons of using your phone in distance learning? Unfortunately, we have some disadvantages of using our mobile phones in distance learning. One of them is that it merely increases the amount of screen time a student indulges in one day. While on one hand, we actively try to reduce time spent in front of a computer, mobile, tablet, or TV screen, for students, especially those that are younger, mobile learning necessitates that students spend time in front of a screen to learn. Another disadvantage is that when taking notes, students sometimes just capture photos of notes with their phones rather than writing them down or typing them up. We all know that taking notes, especially handwritten ones, are vastly better for retention and understanding. Also, evaluating students online is not as stressful as evaluating them in classroom, but this is the only way for now. What would be an app that you would invent to make distance learning easier? I think that they already invented it. For me, the best way of distance learning is with Zoom application. We can all be present by video at the same time, so we can ask our teacher if something is not clear to us, and it can be explained to us like we're in school. Also, it is the best way how we spend time together with classmates and teacher.
I hope that you find our virtual classroom amusing and entertaining. I chose this teaching method because the virtual classroom allows live interaction between the tutor and the learners as they are participating in learning activities. For me, this is a shared online space where I can work with my students. On the other hand, I know that you miss our school and your friends. That's why I decided to cheer you up. At this stage, we will try to compare traditional education to distance education. Considering the global pandemic situation has become a burning issue, which initiated some unusual circumstances, it also aroused the discussions around the exchange of attitudes concerning the educational system. In the following exercise, you will see two pictures. The first one points out to the traditional education, its advantages and disadvantages. The second picture relates to distance education, its advantages and disadvantages as well. While I was talking to your schoolmates, I was fascinated by their ideas. That's why I've decided to invite them to share their opinions with you. I will briefly inform you about the advantages and disadvantages of both traditional education and distance learning. At the table below, you will see the photos of your friends and you can click the soundtracks to listen to them speaking. But let's see, what are the facts about traditional education? Well, pros. Many people think that traditional school is a well-organized system with discipline and punctuality, treating all people equally. There is an interaction between participants. It's always about the busy schedule, extracurricular activities, grading system. But what are the cons? Maybe it's too general. There is a certain number of passive learners. You are away from home. Time-consuming and limited interaction is also considered a disadvantage of traditional school. Self-discipline and boring routine, crowded classroom sometimes. Now, when it comes to the distance learning, the situation is following. Distance learning offers flexibility. Also, you can learn and earn. There are some applications or some services like Upwork, I think, that may prove this fact. Then it's a good thing that you forget about geographical boundaries. You get educated even with a tight budget. when it comes to the university, right? Then distance learning programs make use of sophisticated technology to provide education, which is actually the entire life skill. What are the cons of distance learning? Maybe questioning quality. It could be put into the question. Distance learning is primarily self-directed. Lack of individual attention and feedback. Missing out a campus life. There is no graduation party. Now, please listen to your friends speaking and see what are their opinions about these issues.
The traditional education system is a well-organized institution with proper classroom, building, and teacher faculties. In traditional school, classes start and end at a fixed time. Students attend and leave school at the same time.
Equality is positive and the most important part of traditional education system. It doesn't matter in which caste, religion, race, or class you belong, because in the end, you are all treated fairly, whether you come from a high or a low-class society. Also, students are taught how to accept multicultural and diverse society. Traditional education system is interactive. Students and teachers are put into classrooms where they can carry out their discussions, lectures about certain topics on a daily basis. It helps them feel more participated because they can share knowledge with one another. And it helps them improve certain communication and social skills.
Traditional school is sometimes boring due to their course material. Courses are often lengthy and boring because it is in practice for many years. Some chapters are outdated and uninteresting in the context of the present situation. So classes took place a whole day with minimum break time, which makes you lousy too. In traditional schools, you're supervised by teachers. As long as you're under the supervision of the teacher, you maintain discipline in your work. Otherwise, you have not learned to be self-disciplined. Extracurricular activities. It is one of the most important activities in general which is carried out in each and every traditional school. It provides a platform for students to develop and sharpen individual skills, which can be a useful commodity in a professional career. Such activities include sports and games, music, painting, dancing, debates, and so on. Grading system and competitiveness. The traditional education system motivates and provides a platform to compete against one another to get the best out of them.
General education. Its curriculum includes subjects that are completely unnecessary for someone, but it may be useful for other students. Everyone should follow the same course book whether it interests you or not. It helps to become a jack of all trades but master of none. Passive learners. In traditional schools, you can get information and knowledge only from your books and teachers, so you can have what your teacher knows. They can be wrong too. Students don't make any kind of effort to learn new ideas themselves. Away from home. The traditional school is usually away from home. Keeping you away from your family and lack of parents' care may result in unimaginable events.
Time-consuming and limited interaction. It utilizes your whole day for different activities conducted by a school. Globally, you cannot make interaction in traditional school, but online colleges give you that opportunity. Self-discipline and boring routine. Traditional school is sometimes boring due to their course material. Courses are often lengthy and boring because it is in practice for many years. Some chapters are outdated and uninteresting in the context of the present situation. Crowded classrooms. So much of the students in a classroom make it difficult for some students to catch his or her lectures and assignments. Teachers cannot give time to each and every student present in a classroom, which makes the class less interactive and hence less productive.
Flexibility. Distance education provides you the flexibility to complete your coursework from anywhere, at any time, and at your own pace. You can learn and earn. Many students who take online classes are full-time professionals looking to get ahead in their careers. Even if you're not currently working full-time, distance learning courses offer you a flexible schedule that allows you to learn and work at the same time and pay your way through college. Forget about geographical boundaries. Since you can complete a distance learning course from anywhere, you are not bound by geography. You can choose any school that offers the program you want, no matter where it's located, anywhere in the country, or even internationally. Plus, if you ever relocate, you don't have to worry about transferring to another school.
Get educated even with a tight budget. Online education helps you to save on costs like transport, food, books, and many more. And since so many of these programs are self-paced, they can offer you the opportunity to graduate in less time than a traditional program. Online courses help you become a teach-savvy. Distance learning programs make use of sophisticated technology to provide education by accessing study material electronically, submitting assignments via websites, and practicing on online forums to interact with professors and classmates. On a day-to-day basis, you can become more technologically savvy than your classroom counterparts.
Being overwhelmed and having difficulties at grasping the material. Distance learning is primarily self-directed. This may not work very well for you if you need more attention from your professors, particularly for the more complex parts of coursework. Self-directed learning can make you an independent learner, but it's not for everyone. Lack of individual attention and feedback. Many students consider the lack of interaction with students and professors the biggest disadvantage of distance learning. Online classes can make you feel isolated and missing out on campus life. Well, by taking classes online, you might feel you miss out on the activities associated with campus life, from cultural events to inter-college games, and from prom nights to graduation.
I hope that you enjoyed the main discussion. It would be great if you could send us feedback, some tips, and recommendations, perhaps suggestions. Well, while creating the next exercise, I wanted to include some old-fashioned but still popular handmade cards to ask Amanda some tricky questions. You know what the tricky questions are? Well, they usually stamp you in a funny way, but Amanda is not the one to be confused easily. Let's see.
The applications that my teacher used to teach us in this current not-so-good situation are Google Classroom and Zoom. The website of our school is available for us as well. I personally find each of these very useful and motivating. The motivation is very important in this situation, and our teachers are trying their best to teach us and to keep us motivated. If I have to choose one amongst these applications, I would choose Zoom. The reason is that it has a wide list of options that we can use. One of those is that all the students and a teacher can be present by video at the same time. This gives us the feeling that we're all together, despite the situation. Evaluating students through online learning is not as stressful as evaluating them in the classroom. However, if there is no other option, as it is now, we have to do that. Any evaluation is better than none. I would like to thank all our teachers who are making such effort to keep us all in a good mood, motivating, and not giving up in studying. The better days are coming.
We want to share some beautiful music with you. Music to make learning funny and easygoing. Please click on the link below to listen to the music. This song sends a beautiful message. Listen and say which one. Also, the instructions how to do your homework are given at the end of this presentation. Well, my dear students, I hope that you enjoyed our virtual classroom. Stay home and be safe and sound.